Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Okay, ang time check natin sa umaga, sa gabing ito. Okay, weekend programa natin, 7 minutos, alas 8 na sa gabing ito, 7 minutos, pasado alas 8. Okay, ang kalendaryo natin, gabi ng Friday, no? Friday ngayon, gabi ng Friday, no? Okay. Lunes, Martes, Miyerkules, Huwebes. Friday ba? Friday ngayon mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Okay, Pebrero 9, 2024 po ang gabi ito mga suki, no? Biyernes po lang ngayon, no? Okay, kanina po, ayan, nagsinasal tayo kanina, no? Okay, dito sa Consolidated programa natin, okay, sa ADLSNTV News Channel, okay, platform, okay, corporation mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Okay, babati ako, magandang gabi, good evening. Okay, hulihin natin po ang, pahuli natin po ang universal greeting kasi marami. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, no? Okay, mainit pa rin ang politika mga kababayan, no? Okay, nagumpisa po sa confidential intelligence fund, and then salitang tambaloslos, and then ganito na nga po ang nangyari mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Okay, so hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin humupa, no? Okay, ang unang balita ko ngayon, okay, tingnan natin, no? Okay, ano ba ito? Mag-threaten po ang Pangulo, okay, Bongbong Marcos, no? Okay. Okay. Philippines, Marcos Jr. threatens to crush Duterte assassination attempt. Okay, mga suki, mga kababayan, na? Okay. First Force America. Galing pa sa Amerika, mga suki, mga kababayan, na? So, important po ang may-ari ng kwan nito, no? Napakalakas ang page niya. 1.7 likes, 183,000, okay, 618 ang view. Pinalabas po ng Pebrero 6, 2024, no? Okay, kayo na makikinig, no? Para hindi na ako baka magkamali pa ako magsabi, mga suki, no? Ulitin ko ang titulo ng description ng balita ito. Philippines, Marcos Jr.'s okay, threaten to crush Duterte assassination attempt. Ang gumawa ito, First Post America, mga kababayan. So, important. Okay, so pakinggan natin po itong okay, tumulong kayo mag-analyze sa mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Okay, parang medyo kwan na ako, mga suki, no? Okay, sa mga issue, okay, magsilabasan ito. Baka matulad tayo ng Hamas at saka itong okay, at saka ng Israeli government, no? Huwag naman sana buyag. Ayan po, mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Ang delikado lang dito kung ipa-aresto, okay, yung political patriarch, okay, ng Davao City, mga suki, no? Okay, so yun ang pangamba ko, mga kababayan, no? Pilitan siya arestuhin. Okay, sinasabi niya hindi siya magpahuli ng buhay, mga suki, no? Ayan. Okay, tingnan natin po anong laman ng imported dito mga kababayan, no? Okay, taga-Amerika pa. Okay, nakisaw-saw sa atin mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Okay, ulitin kong titulo. Philippines Marcos Jr. threatens to crush Duterte's secession attempt. First Force America, no? Ito na. Okay, ito na po mga suki, no? Ayan.
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Okay, gera ng politika mga suki, no? Sa national. Okay. Sige, pakinggan natin. Okay, wala akong purpose ito para magkagulo tayo, no? Okay, ang purpose ko lang, okay, para ay malaman po ng publiko yung kalagayan natin dito sa Pilipinas, no? Ayan, pakinggan natin.
From the U.S. to the Philippines, political chaos has gripped the ruling alliance. The rift between President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and former President Rodrigo Duterte is widening. The Philippines government has now warned of using authority and forces against attempts to break the country. The warning comes after former President Rodrigo Duterte threatened to separate some of the southern Filipino islands. He also made calls for independence of his hometown, Mindanao, which is the second largest island in the Philippines. Duterte and Marcos Jr. are at loggerheads over amending the Constitution.
Loggerhead.
Marcos Jr. says
Okay, ginagamit ang loggerhead.
on easing foreign investments. The president backs these provisions to spur the economy. However, Duterte has accused Marcos Jr. of amending the Constitution to stay in power. The latest rift in the ruling alliance of the Philippines comes ahead of the midterm elections in
Huwag kayo alis, ha?
2025, where half
Okay.
the Senate will be up for
Kakain
re-election.
lang ako ng konti.
This is not, however, the first time when cracks in the alliance have come to the fore, since the two most powerful political families of the country joined hands to win the election in 2022. Earlier, Marcos Jr. also reversed Duterte's pro-China stance. The president pivoted back to the United States, granting Washington greater access to Filipino bases. Another major blow to the relationship came in November of last year when Marcos Jr. said that he was considering rejoining the International Criminal Court. Duterte has withdrawn membership from the ICC back in 2018. The decision was made after the International Court announced a preliminary probe into the killings during Duterte's war on drugs. Amidst clashes between the two leaders, the Philippines' National Security Advisor, Eduardo Ano, said any attempt to secede will be met by the government with resolute force. Citing recent calls to separate Mindanao, Ano added, and I'm quoting, "The national government will not hesitate to use its authority and forces to quell and stop any and all attempts to dismember the republic." The Marcos Jr. government said calls for secession threatened the efforts to end decades of armed conflict in Mindanao. Violence plagued the region and killed as many as 200,000 people until 2014, when the Filipino government and the region's largest rebel group signed a peace agreement. The rebel group, known as the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, withdrew its fight for independence. In exchange, they received enhanced autonomy for the Bangsamoro region in the Philippines.
Mindanao. Okay.
From impeachment to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden. How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that were covered. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on First Post America.
Okay, galing po sa Center of Power, Washington. Itong mag-report po mga kababayan, ulitin kong titulo. Okay, Philippine Marcos Jr. threatened to crush Duterte's secession attempt. Okay? Galing po sa First Post America mga kababayan. Kung hindi nyo narinig, okay, ako nakuha ko mga suki mga kababayan, no? Okay. Ayan. Ganun po Okay, kalakas po ng kwan natin, no? Okay, balita natin po. Itong ADLSNTV News Online, no? Okay, sa programa Halo-Halo Special, opinion balita at iba pa. Kasama po serbisyo publiko tinig ng mamamayan and then sumbungan ng mamamayan, mga kababayan. Okay, ulitin ko ulit, no? Okay, para talaga maintindihan natin. Kahit konti-konti lang ang balita natin kasi binago ko mga kababayan, no? Okay, ang style pagbalita ko kasalukuyan, no? Seryoso ito. Okay, seryoso po mga suki, no? So, sige, ulitin natin. Para makuha nyo talaga kung ano po kalagayan ng politika natin, no? Okay. So, bakit ito makuha ng Washington DC? Washington mga group ng media. Okay, sige. Grabe. Okay. So ngayon, tinapos lang niya yung kanyan niya. Okay. Okay, balik natin ito, no? Okay, para makuha natin ng todo.
From the U.S. to the Philippines, political chaos has gripped the ruling alliance. The rift between President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
Chaos, political
and
chaos ang
President
ginamit
Rodrigo
ko.
Duterte is widening. The Philippines government has now warned of using authority and forces against attempts to break the country. The warning comes after former President Rodrigo Duterte threatened to separate some of the southern Filipino islands. He also made calls for independence of his hometown, Mindanao, which is the second largest island in the Philippines. Duterte and Marcos Jr. are at loggerheads over amending the Constitution. Marcos Jr. says amendments are focused on easing foreign investments. The president backs these provisions to spur the economy. However, Duterte has accused Marcos Jr. of amending the Constitution to stay in power. The latest rift in the ruling alliance of the Philippines comes ahead of the midterm elections in 2025, where half the Senate will be up for re-election. This is not, however, the first time when cracks in the alliance have come to the fore, since the two most powerful political families of the country joined hands to win the election in 2022. Earlier, Marcos Jr. also reversed Duterte's pro-China stance. The president pivoted back to the United States, granting Washington greater access to Filipino bases. Another major blow to the relationship came in November of last year when Marcos Jr. said that he was considering rejoining the International Criminal Court. Duterte has withdrawn membership from the ICC back in 2018. The decision was made after the International Court announced a preliminary reprobe into the killings during Duterte's war on drugs. Amidst clashes between the two leaders, the Philippines' National Security Advisor, Eduardo Ano, said any attempt to secede will be met by the government with resolute force. Citing recent calls to separate Mindanao, Ano added, and I'm quoting, "The national government will not hesitate to use its authority and forces to quell and stop any and all attempts to dismember the republic." The Marcos Jr. government said calls for secession threatened the efforts to end decades of armed conflict in Mindanao. Violence plagued the region and killed as many as 200,000 people until 2014, when the Filipino government and the region's largest rebel group signed a peace agreement. The rebel group, known as the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, withdrew its fight for independence. In exchange, they received enhanced autonomy for the Bangsamoro region in the Philippines. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden. How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that were covered. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on First Post America.
Okay. Isang beses pa, tatlong beses pa kuan natin, no? Ganun ako pag okay, pag ganito mga suki mga kababayan, no? Mindanao. Okay. Secretary Eduardo Ano. Okay, Mindanao, Secretary Eduardo Ano. Okay, Ano. Yan po mga kano. Ayan. Rodrigo Duterte. Okay, very lang, no?
From the U.S. to the Philippines, political chaos has gripped the ruling alliance. The rift between President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and former President Rodrigo Duterte is widening. The Philippines government has now warned of using authority and forces against attempts to break the country. The warning comes after former President Rodrigo Duterte threatened to separate some of the southern Filipino islands. He also made calls for independence of his hometown, Mindanao, which is the second largest island in the Philippines. Duterte and Marcos Jr. are at loggerheads over amending the Constitution. Marcos Jr. says amendments are focused on easing foreign investments. The president backs these provisions to spur the economy. However, Duterte has accused Marcos Jr. of amending the Constitution to stay in power. The latest rift in the ruling alliance of the Philippines comes ahead of the midterm elections in 2025, where half the Senate will be up for re-election. This is not, however, the first time when cracks in the alliance have come to the fore, since the two most powerful political families of the country joined hands to win the election in 2022. Earlier, Marcos Jr. also reversed Duterte's pro-China stance. The president pivoted back to the United States, granting Washington greater access to Filipino bases. Another major blow to the relationship came in November of last year when Marcos Jr. said that he was considering rejoining the International Criminal Court. Duterte has withdrawn membership from the ICC back in 2018. The decision was made after the International Court announced a preliminary probe into the killings during Duterte's war on drugs. Amidst clashes between the two leaders, the Philippines' National Security Advisor, Eduardo Ano, said any attempt to secede will be met by the government with resolute force. Citing recent calls to separate Mindanao, Ano added, and I'm quoting, the national government will not hesitate to use its authority and forces to quell and stop any and all attempts to dismember the republic. The Marcos Jr. government said calls for secession threatened the efforts to end decades of armed conflict in Mindanao. Violence plagued the region and killed as many as 200,000 people until 2014, when the Filipino government and the region's largest rebel group signed a peace agreement. The rebel group, known as the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, withdrew its fight for independence. In exchange, they received enhanced autonomy for the Bangsamoro region in the Philippines. From impeachment to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden. How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that were covered. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on First Post America.
Sino yun? Andrew Arcan? Ayan po. Galing po sa mismo sa Washington, no? Okay, Capitol Hill. Alam nila po ang situation natin dito sa Pilipinas, no? Ganun po katinik ng mga mga kababayan. Okay. So, at least mamagitan ng news natin, ay alam din natin po ang mga balita ng ganyan, no? Okay, napaka hot po ang issue mga suki, no? Okay. Kaya nga, okay, mag-break muna ako and balikan natin ang ibang news ito, no? Ayan.
female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Awesome! Awesome! Awesome!
Okay, kay ex nakulong po, Senadora. Okay, itong si ex Philippine Senator De Lima, no? Sabi niya, unit team brief, a power play. Okay, pakinggan natin, analysis nito mga kababayan, no? Okay, analysis din. Okay, itong former senator nakulong ng ilang taon yun. Haba-haba, no? Okay, so pakinggan natin naman ang kanyang sinabi. Okay, si aling Senator De Lima, mga kababayan, no? Ayan, malaya na po ngayon itong senadora ng bayan po, mga suki, no? Okay, pakinggan natin naman kung ano naman sinasabi ito. Ayan.
A power play, that's how former Senator Leila De Lima described the recent political bickering between the so-called Uniteam coalition. De Lima says the tirades fired by the Duterte camp against President Marcos were acts of desperation amid fears of losing their grip on political power.
It's parang an act of desperation yung mga pangyayari, lalo na nung linggo, yung mga narinig natin, ang mga maangang na salita na naman, na very combative, na, Duterte did not mince words, yung kanyang speech nung linggo, ay an act of desperation na in the hope na mararali nila ulit yung kanilang mga supporters, both inside and outside government, na para ma-prevent, lalo na yung sa ICC. Kasi dyan talaga pinakatakot si Mr. Duterte. At saka yung yung mapalitan yung system of government na mawawala na sa kapangyarihan sila. Kasi magiging irrelevant na yung posisyon ng Vice President kung sakasakali. Sa Marcos camp is ayaw na nila makipag-divide ng spoils of the electoral victory in 2022.
De Lima adds the breakup between the two camps is always meant to happen.
May dalawa po na nakikita na nagtatakbakan, nagbe-break up na nagsimula na. Yung talaga namang mangyayari yun. Although sabi nga ng iba, napakaaga lang. Dahil nga ito sa a coalition of for convenience, kaya natural lamang na hindi talaga tatagal. Nararamdaman ng mga Duterte na naalis na sila, na nagiging disenfranchised na sila sa center of power. May mga development o may mga ginawa yung BBM administration at ginagawa ngayon sa tingin nila na lalo silang mawawala sa poder. Kasi sa tingin kasi sa sarili nila yung Duterte is since nagkaroon na ng arrangement ng 2022, nagpo-alis sila para mas malakas yung kanilang kandidatura against the PP Lenny forces, ay parang gumerel ka lang sa kanila yung mga Marcos. So, yung para pag susunod ng Ate Sara sa 2028, ngayon may pangyayari na nawawala, lalo na kung mangyari nga yung shift to parliamentary system.
Another United Nations Special Rapporteur urges the Philippine government to abolish its controversial anti-insurgency task force. Irene Khan spoke to media Friday at the conclusion of her visit to the Philippines. The Special Rapporteur on Freedom and Opinion and Expression says the NTF-LCAC should be dissolved after it linked several personalities to the armed movement. This echoes her colleague Ian Fry's call during his visit last year. Khan was in the country for 2 weeks, where she spoke to activists and government officials about the country's human rights situation.
There is clear evidence that red tagging and terror tagging are being practiced by security forces as part of their counterterrorism strategy. It intimidates and chills freedom of expression. It suppresses legal activism. It isolates and antagonizes those who are unfairly attacked, puts them in a vulnerable position, and undermines public trust in civil society and the media. There is an expectation that the government will build on the steps it has already taken to make more significant legal, policy, and institutional changes. And it is only by doing that it will reaffirm the image of the Philippines as a forward-looking, vibrant democracy committed to human rights and the rule of law.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. distributes assistance to farmers in Pampanga during a ceremonial palay harvesting. Our correspondent Jose Carretero joins us on the line for more. Jose.
Good afternoon, Sandy. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the ceremonial palay harvesting in a farm in Barangay Mandila in Candaba, Pampanga this morning. President Marcos was joined by Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chula Jr. and some local officials of Candaba, Pampanga. The ceremonial harvesting, according to President Marcos, signals the continuing progress not just in the rice sector but the entire agriculture sector. Marcos said the palay yield last year reached 20 million metric tons, which is 1.5% higher, or an additional 300,000 metric tons of palay compared last year. President Marcos said the increase in yield was a result of the intervention of the government, like the distribution of high-yielding seed varieties and fertilizers to farmers. One of the programs the administration will prioritize is the construction of solar-powered irrigation facilities, according to President Marcos. This will provide sufficient water supply to rain-fed areas, which will eventually lead in achieving the 3 cropping seasons target. Meanwhile, Marcos said El Nino continue to affect farmers in the country. He said the effect would worsen until June and could still be felt until the end of the year. He assured the government will help the affected sector. Meanwhile, farmer beneficiaries were thankful for the assistance they received. They were given farming equipment such as rice combine harvester, riding type rice transplanter, and 4-wheel tractor and palay seed. More than 3,000 farmers also received financial assistance worth 5,000 pesos. Candaba, Pampanga has 19,000 hectares devoted to agriculture, according to Candaba Mayor Rene Maglanque. He said 17 hectares of the agricultural land is devoted to rice farming. He added, farmers could harvest 91 metric tons of palay during dry season. 2 hectares of agricultural areas is devoted to vegetables, according to Maglanque. With a yield of 8 metric tons a year, Candaba is known also as producer of melon and watermelon. Sandy.
All right, thank you so much for the update, Jose Carretero there. Flooding and landslides brought by heavy rains in Davao region resulted in the deaths of 12 individuals and affected nearly 300,000 others. In Davao del Norte, scores of areas still submerged in floodwaters. Our correspondent Hernel Tokmo is monitoring the situation there. He now joins us live with the latest. Hernel, over to you.
Stanley, the death toll in the recent flooding and landslides in the Davao region has risen to 12. According to the Information Office of the Davao de Oro Provincial Government, 8 people have been killed in the municipalities of New Bataan, Maragusan, Pantucan, and Moncayo, mostly due to landslides. While yesterday, rescuers have already retrieved the 4 members of a family who were buried by landslide in Barangay Gupitan in Capalong, Davao del Norte. Many motorists were also stranded in many areas in Davao del Norte, Davao Oriental, and Davao de Oro due to landslides and flooded highways caused by low-pressure area. In Barangay Tuganay, in Carmen, Davao del Norte, the national highway turned into a parking lot after a line of cars and trucks reached over a kilometer as road became impassable. The flooded road is a way going northbound in Davao Oriental, Davao de Oro, and Caraga region. The town of Carmen is a flood-prone area because this is a catch basin, but residents and local officials say this could be the worst flooding they experienced. As many roads are inaccessible, local government units are finding a way to reach the affected areas to deliver aid. They utilize big trucks to pass through flooded roads and boats in some areas where bridges collapsed. Based on the latest data from the Office of the Civil Defense Region 11, over 72,000 families have been affected by flooding and landslides in the entire Davao region. Stanley, we are here currently in a flooded evacuation center in the municipality of Carmen, where evacuees are staying in an elevated concrete bleachers because of the flood waters. As of now, residents say that they have already received food rations, but they still appeal for more relief goods, water supply, and hygiene kits. And that's the latest here in Davao del Norte. Over to you, Stanley.
Yes, Ernel, you mentioned 12 dead already. Is that number expected to rise given that weather conditions are barely improving?
Yes, Stanley, according to the Office of Civil Defense Region 11 and even to the local officials, the flooding is not still has not still submerged here in Davao del Norte, and there are still possible casualties and injuries that have still be yet to recorded. Stanley?
All right, and just to give us a sense of the situation where you are right now, you're standing in a flooded area. What sense are you getting from government? How are they calibrating the response now? Do you expect more evacuees to be housed there?
Sadly, actually, this evacuation center is flooded here in Carmen, Davao del Norte, because the floodwaters still continue to rise. Last night, we saw some pictures and videos of many evacuees packed here inside the evacuation center. But when the floodwaters increased, they transferred to other locations, and some evacuees are still staying here. That's the problem here because before this is actually a flood-prone municipality, but this is the first time that they experience a severe flooding. And right now, the government is looking for more areas where to temporarily evacuate the residents. And because of the many affected areas, they are still doing their best to do some relief operations. According to the residents here, they still haven't received any relief goods, only food rations. So that's they're hoping that they will receive more relief goods and water supply here in the evacuation center. Stanley?
All right, we do look forward to more updates from you. Have not talked more to keep safe. Thank you. Here at home, oil prices are headed higher for a fifth straight week on Tuesday. Estimates show motorists would have to pay at least 1 peso and 30 centavos more for a liter of diesel next week. Gasoline may also increase by up to 80 centavos. Now, as for kerosene, prices may go up by as much as 1 peso. The Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office welcomes the Senate probe into allegedly suspicious lotto draws. Kennedy Magadias tells us more.
Annie, not her real name, recently hit the 42 million peso 649 jackpot. She immediately went to the PCSO office to claim her prize. She said she's been betting on the same 6 numbers. But the last time she decided to change one number, and that won her the grand prize.
Paiba po ako ng numero.
First time mo tinayan yung numero yun.
Mga 3 beses, 4 na beses ko pong tinayan. Tapos nagpalit po ako ng isang number.
Last minute mo pinalitan mo, naisip ko lang na baka hindi sila fixing number dito.
Wala, bigla ko lang po naisip na palitan. Diyos ko, magkakabahay lupa na ako.
Some senators, however, have become suspicious of the lotto draws after 3 bettors won at least 500 million pesos each in December alone. They grew even more worried after the PCSO posted on social media an edited photo of an alleged lotto winner. The PCSO explained it was meant to protect the identity of the winner. And to disprove the allegations, the agency has invited lawmakers to inspect the process. ABS-CBN went to PCSO to see how lotto winners are picked. Cases containing the draw balls are prepared and sealed in the morning of the actual draw.
All our cases are secured, considering na meron pa siya security seal. Okay? May padlock po yan. So, iba-iba po yan. These seals are recorded from the previous use, kasi ginagamit nga namin on an alternate basis. So, lagi ko kami may record dyan. So, that's what they're doing. So, isa lang po dyan ang magagamit natin for today. Yan. Kung ano po yung mapili natin mamaya. We have a judge. Meron po the outsider panel.
Once the cases are opened, the lottery balls will be weighed to make sure that each weighs only 2.4 to 2.6 grams. The balls need to be as close in weight as possible. The air blower machines are also checked. If everything is in order, the room is sealed off. Guards see to it that nobody comes in. There are also CCTV cameras in place. Bets from local outlets nationwide are received by the PCSO servers in real time. Once the outlets close at 8 p.m., data from the servers are downloaded to a flash drive and sealed. The box will only be unsealed once the draw starts. The data is then uploaded into a separate computer to make sure it cannot be hacked. For Senator Rafi Tulfo, this is critical. After a PCSO employee admitted in one of the Senate hearings that numbers in the servers can be edited.
Samantalang yung nandito ka, last time na hearing namin, IT expert, yung sabi niya, pwede. So ngayon, binabago mo. Hindi pwede. Maliban na kung magpakita sa akin ng credentials na ikaw ay IT expert.
No, Mr. Chair.
Then hindi ka pwede magsalita.
PCSO General Manager welcomes the Senate probe, but insists winning numbers cannot be manipulated.
I don't think sinabi yun. The question was, pwede ba ma-hack if all the computers in the world, even Pentagon can be hacked? So it was in that context na doon tinanong siya. Of course, that's her opinion. No? Opinion yun. So I don't think you can even edit it without a trace. No? But remember, pag nabola na yan, nasa labas na yan eh. So, paano mo itatamper yung immediate na resulta na yun? And so, nakapublish na kumbaga eh. So, ang gagawin na lang dito, basahin mo na lang kung lumabas na combination.
Robles has sent a written invitation to senators to ask them to inspect PCSO draw facilities.
Sabi ko lang, I have an open invitation for them to come and visit or the representative. Please come. Tingnan niyo.
The senators have yet to respond. For now, the Senate will ask the DICT for a copy of the results of the test it conducted on the PCSO computer systems. Henry Omaga Diaz, ABS-CBN News.
Some business groups opposing moves to do away with the booklet used in monitoring discounted purchases of senior citizens and persons with disabilities. Alvin El Chico reports.
75-year-old Berna Carmelo agrees with proposals from legislators to do away with the purchase booklet for them and persons with disability to avail of the government-ordered discounts.
Pag alis mo ng bahay, pag alis mo ng lugar mo, so wala ka nang iintindihin, dadalhin pa. That will be very, very good for us senior citizens. Napakagandang proposal yan.
Her favorite pharmacy had recently launched a loyalty card program, so she no longer needs to bring the booklet in purchasing prescription medicines. But the Pharmaceutical and Healthcare Association suggests using quick response or QR codes instead of booklets.
ID ko ng senior, pwede pong magkaroon ng QR code na babarili na lang sa butika, tapos nandun na po yung informasyon. Una, makakatulong po sa senior na makakakuha pa rin siya ng kanyang diskwento, na siya yung tama, siya yung makakainom. At pangalawa po, masasatisfy niya po yung mga beneficient.
Supermarket owners also oppose the removal of the booklet system. Senior citizens and PWDs also enjoy a 5% discount on many basic and prime commodities with weekly limit.
Kung wala na ito, magiging anti ito. Ibig sabihin, ang nagtitingit, hindi na niya alam kung naabot na yung nasagad na yung discount. Kung hindi, bigay siya siyempre ng bigay ng discount.
I don't think that's doable. Kasi we gave a limit, number one. They gave a limit actually. No? Mga legislators. Number two, di tax deductible sa amin ito eh. So we're shouldering it. So really open for abuse.
Meanwhile, major pharmacies had started to remove the 12% value-added tax on medicines for certain illnesses enumerated by a Bureau of Internal Revenue memo. These include drugs for cancer, diabetes, high cholesterol, and hypertension, among others. This customer says he did not know about the removal of that until today.
laking tulong din kahit paano. Kahit pamasahe, na din.
After removing the VAT, a drug for cancer, which costs 415 pesos before, now retails for 370 pesos per tablet, while a brand of amlodipine for hypertension now costs 3 pesos less.
Regardless po ng edad, no? Kung kahit ano po pong sa parte ng populasyon kayo, yung VAT exempt po, basta nireseta po yung gamot nyo na nasa listahan po, makikinabang po kayo dito sa VAT exemption na ito.
But for seniors and PWDs, on top of the VAT removal, they still enjoy a 20% discount for all medicines with doctor's prescription. Alvin Chico, ADS-CBN News.
The Philippine Social Welfare Department set to provide millions of indigent senior citizens with higher pensions. Or from Jervis Manahan.
4 million senior citizens coming from poor families across the country will be receiving higher social pensions from the Department of Social Welfare and Development starting this month. From the previous 500 pesos monthly, beneficiaries will now get 1,000 pesos. This comes after the passage of a law doubling the social pension for seniors who are not receiving pension from other entities like GSIS and SSS. The agency says 49.8 billion pesos were allotted for the program, and they assure the public that only deserving beneficiaries will receive the cash aid.
May vetting process tayo from barangay, munisipyo, hanggang sa mga regional offices natin. At sa ganon, double check natin kung talagang sila po yung mga nangangailangan natin ng mga social pensioners.
On Friday, a ceremonial distribution was held in DSWD Central Office, attended by First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos.
Sa mga lolo at lola dyan, mga senior citizen, you are in good hands with the SWD.
Beneficiaries said the higher pension would go a long way, particularly for their medical expenses.
Hindi ko nga nahulugan ng isis ko eh. 4 na taon lang ang huhulog ko sa isis eh. May mga anak ko, pero ang iba may mga pamilya na. Wala, buta-butan lang ako pag humihingi ko ako.
Matandaan ako. Yung mga anak ko naman, hindi ko sila mahingian dahil ano lang yung mga trabaho nila. Tuwing December, nagtitinda ako ng mga toys. Gamit ko yung nakukuha kong pension. Para naman, hindi na ako mahihiyang manghingi sa mga anak ko.
Pension distribution happens twice a year. So they were given 6,000 pesos to cover until June. At least 400,000 people are still on the wait list. But unserved seniors may get in touch with the Office of Senior Citizen Affairs in their respective villages to apply for the program. Jervis Manahan, ADS-CBN News.
Now, 2 universities are offering free online courses to those who are looking to enhance their knowledge or those who want to return to school. Easy Lee tells us more.
So, good afternoon, ma'am. I am Mark Anthony.
Fourth-year college student Mark quickly applied upon learning that the University of the Philippines, Open University, or UPOU, is offering free short courses.
Masaya po and very excited ako. Parang dinapol po yung opportunity since that is a program from the University of the Philippines and it's free. Ginagawa ko po yung mga activities tuwing gabi po. Since may klase po ako ng umaga hanggang hapon po.
According to UPOU, the number of applicants for their massive online open courses or MOOCs has increased. From 1,700 applicants in 2015, the number has increased to more than 145,000 applicants in January for their 24 free online courses this year.
Ang laki talaga tinaas and we are happy because ito talaga yung gusto namin mangyari. Gusto namin bigyan ng pagkakataon ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino, nasaan man sila sa mundo or dito sa Pilipinas na nagnanais na kumuha ng mga courses na hindi nila kaya kung sila ay mga nag-work or sila ay mayroong mga disabilities or sila ay nasa ibang bansa.
Within 4 to 8 weeks, students can complete a course and receive a certificate.
Anyone can apply as much as possible. Ang ina-advocate kasi namin dito is accessible courses, more flexible courses, inclusive courses. So, anybody na maiintindihan na niya yung courses at gusto niyang kunin, wala pong problema. This is all free. Walang kailang isubmit na TOR or graduate diploma or anything.
The Open University of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines offers 7 free online undergraduate programs.
Walang babayaran. So it's all free. We cater basically for the working individuals who are not able to finish college. Sabi nga namin, the undergraduate programs of the Open University is all about second chances.
PUP also recently launched their Education on Wheels, or EOW, in 2 villages in Quezon City. A bus converted into a classroom will visit depressed communities with teachers. In this program, students can pursue a 4-year degree in Bachelor of Science and Office Management for free.
Kahit sabihin natin na ang PUP ang pinakamurang tuition fee, siya rin ay libre, marami pa rin ang hindi nakaka-avail na mga bata at hindi nakaka-afford na pumunta talaga sa eskwelahan. Kahit pa malapit yan, halimbawa lang, dahil sa ngayon mataas na rin ang pamasahe.
Residents of Tatalon village welcome this opportunity since many of them had to stop studying due to life's challenges. They say projects like this give them a chance to finish their education by making lessons accessible.
Yung pamasahe, napakahirap po talaga niya. Kahit po sabihin mo na estudyante, allowance, pagkain sa araw-araw, syempre may mga projects pa din pong pinapagawa.
Po ako, wala na po akong pagtusos ng pag-aaral. So sobrang tagal na rin po nun, kaya lang, matagal ko na rin pong gustong magpagpatuloy yung pag-aaral ko.
PUP plans to expand their Education on Wheels to provide more opportunities for continued education. Easily, ADS-CBN News.
Okay, natapos din, no? Okay. Pinagpatuloy ko na lang, no? Ayan. Okay, sandali lang. Ayan. Okay, sandali lang, no?
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Okay, kaya pa kaya ito? Isa? Okay, hindi na kaya mga syukin, no? Kasi, okay, kunting minutos na lang po mga kababayan. Okay, sandali lang, break muna tayo.
Ang buong administration pinagbalita ay tumatalakay sa may subang kasalukuyan at napapanahon. Makapolitika, makatunong, makakomentaryo at balita ang programa ay patas sa lahat. Walang kinikilingan, walang kinakampihan, at walang kinapanigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa makahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, ang Vice President po ng ang Vice President ng Pilipinas ay pinapagpa-resign po ng kanyang tatay, digong, no? Okay, pakinggan natin itong balita ito, mga kababayan, no? Okay. So, seryoso ba ito o ano lang? Pakinggan natin, no? Ayan.
During the meeting, tinanong ko si PRRD kasi sinabi niya that he would challenge the AFP. Sabi ko sa kanya, Mr. President, paano ng senaryo if ever mapabagsak si Marcos at sinasabi mo nga i-challenge ng AFP? Ganito. Alam mo, sabi niya, ayokong si Sara Duterte ang pumalit na presidente pagre-resigning niya. Yun ang gusto niya. Kasi nga, ayaw niya na ang dating laban ito ng Duterte at ng Marcos. During the meeting, tinanong ko si PRRD kasi sinabi niya that he would challenge the AFP. Sabi ko sa kanya, Mr. President, paano ng senaryo if ever mapabagsak si Marcos at sinasabi mo nga i-challenge ng AFP? Ganito. Alam mo, sabi niya, ayokong si Sara Duterte ang pumalit na presidente pagre-resigning niya. Yun ang gusto niya. Kasi nga, ayaw niya na ang dating laban ito ng Duterte at ng Marcos. During the meeting, tinanong ko si PRRD kasi sinabi niya that he would challenge the AFP. Sabi ko sa kanya, Mr. President, paano ng senaryo if ever mapabagsak si Marcos at sinasabi mo nga i-challenge ng AFP? Ganito. Alam mo, sabi niya, ayokong si Sara Duterte ang pumalit na presidente pagre-resigning niya. Yun ang gusto niya. Kasi nga, ayaw niya na ang dating laban ito ng Duterte at ng Marcos. During the meeting, tinanong ko si PRRD kasi sinabi niya that...
Okay, yan ang puntos na. Sa 3 beses pinarinig ko yung sa itong isang vlogger, mga suki, mga kabang. Gandang mga vlog nila, no? Okay, maganda ang mayaman kasi sila ito. Okay. May mga gumalaw-galaw sa likod, mga suki, no? Parang original po. Okay, ang mga gamit nila po pang vlog, no? Mga high-end, okay, mga high-end resolution po ginagamit sa vlog, streaming, mga suki, no? Grabe. So, ganun po ang ibang vlogger po sa atin, no? Okay. So, yan po ang mga balita po sa gabing ito, no? Sa weekend na araw ng Biyernes. Ayan po, no? Okay, dagdag balita na lang itong 11 individuals. Okay, sugatan na living. Okay, sa landslide sa 2 bus. Okay, sa barangay Masara, Mako, Davao de Oro, no? Malungkot naman ang sinapit dito ng ng 2 bus ito, no? Biglang dumaan and then bigla lang po ay nagkaroon ng landslide, no? Ayon dito sa dagdag na balita, meron daw 2 bus dumaan. Okay, dahil po dumaan po doon, no, sa area na yon, itong sa barangay Masara, Mako, Davao de Oro, no? Biglang dumaan and then biglang natabunan po ng landslide. Okay, ayun po dahilan, no? Okay, ang dahilan daw ay walang tigil po na ulan, no? Okay. And then, i-describe po ng mga taga roon, kasing taas, okay, na 4 na talampakan, 4 na palapag, 4 na palapag, yung 4 na palapag ng building, taas ng lupa na ito, mga suki, no? So, ibig sabihin, grabe, no? Okay, ang ulan dyan po sa area na yung Davao de Oro, no? Hayan. Ang isa pang dahilan, okay, sa pagguho na yan, dahil po sa init ng panahon, okay, sa Pasipiko, ayon po sa balita ito mga suki, malungkot na balita, okay, para sa mga taga Masara, Mako, okay, Davao de Oro mga suki, no? Barangay Masara pala, Barangay Masara, Mako, okay, Davao de Oro, no? So, ayan po, grabe, no? Ganun po ang buhay sa kasulukuyan. Kaya, okay, mag-ingat tayo, no? Kung hindi tayo mamatay sa lupa, mga ganyan, mamatay tayo sa hangin. Okay, mamatay tayo sa apoy. O kaya, mamatay tayo sa tubig. No, 4 lang yan eh. Okay, ginawa po ng Panginoon, okay, sa amin, 4 na hinasil, no? 4 na hinasil. Okay, lupa, tubig, hangin, apoy, bakal. Ayan, no? Okay. Andyan na yan. Yan dahil sa tubig, no? Tubig, hangin, apoy, bakal. Yan ang pwede po pumatay sa atin mga suki gawa ng Panginoon po dito sa daigdig mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Sa amin, okay, 4 na hinasil mga suki, no? Ginawa ng Panginoon Allah, okay, para kasangkapan natin at pwede rin puminsala sa atin mga tagapakinig, no? Ayan, pwede puminsala sa atin yung 4 ng gawa ng Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ulitin ko. Okay, apoy, hangin, tubig, bakal. Ayan. Hindi yan mistake. Hindi tayo magkamali dyan mga suki, no? Okay. Kung mag-ilmo ka, okay, para hindi ka tinalaban ng 4 na yan, dapat maabot mo sa inyong ilmo. Okay, ilmo pagkalila mga kababayan, no? Ayan. So, abutin mo yan. Okay, yung 4 na hinasil dito sa daigdig, puminsala po sa nilalang. Ginawa rin ng Allah Ta'ala and then ginawa rin tayo ng Allah Ta'ala, no? Okay. God creation tayo. Mga 4 na hinasil yan, sa science, okay, gawa rin ng Allah Ta'ala. And then tayo gawa ng Allah Ta'ala, no? So, paano tayo hindi kainin ng mga ginawa ng Allah Ta'ala, no? Okay, so dapat abot ng knowledge natin sa pagitan din ng science o ilmo. Ayan po mga suki, ilmo pagkalila mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Okay. So, anong oras na? Bakit ba napunta yung ilmo yun sa topic ko mga kababayan, no? Okay, sige po. Para tayong scientist, no? Ayan. Ito na po. Wala na tayong oras. Ayan.
Awesome! Awesome! Awesome!
Okay, dito po nagtatapos ang programa natin. Okay, sa gabing ito. weekend po na ngayon. Okay, bukas wala akong programa and then Sunday. Okay, pati na rin po Sunday, no? So Monday ako babalik sa aking programa, no? Pero kung may mga mahalagang balita, mga emergency, anytime pwede tayo bumalik kasi ang system natin ay 24/7 mga kababayan, no? Ayan. So, ayan. Okay, dito tayo sa Consolidated News natin, mga suki natin, no? Mga tagapakinig. Okay, platform natin, ADLSNTV News Corporation. Okay, channel ito. Ayan po mga kababayan, mga suki, no? Okay. Okay, sa programa Halo-Halo Special Opinion Balita at iba pa, kasama po sa Bisyo Publiko Tinik ng Mamamayan. And then, sumbungan ng mamamayan, no? So, ulitin ko po yung apat ni Hinasil, yung apat na creation ng Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, no? Ayan. Yung bakal, okay, yung tubig, apoy, at saka ano pa? Hangin. So, ginawa ng Allah Ta'ala yan, mga suki, no? Siya ang may gawa yan. Tayo, human being, tao, mapalalaki, mapalalaki, gawa rin tayo ng Allah Ta'ala, suki mga kababayan, no? So, kung naabot mo yung, naabot ng knowledge mo, yung apat na ginawa ng Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, hindi ka mari po ay, hindi ka mari na puksain mga kababayan, no? Hindi ka pwede puksain niya kasi, parehas ka ginawa ng Allah Ta'ala, no? Pero ang technique, okay, paano pananggalang sa mga sakuna na yan? Okay, yan po ang technique na hindi po pwede ibigay natin sa publiko, no? Ayan. So, kailangan po abutin yon. Yung lahat po lahat po sira sa atin, no? Okay, itong, lalo na yung mga pitna, yung marites, napakausap ang marites na, yan po, kailangan po abutin natin, paano natin, okay, na meron tayo pananggalang ng mga, yung pag-block ba sa mga marites sa kasalukuyan, no? Dapat abutin mo yan. Okay, so sekreto na yon, sekreto na po yun between direct ako, okay, sa Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, doon ako, okay, humingi ng protection sa kanya mga suki, no? Kasi gawain niya ng Allah Ta'ala. Okay, yung mga tao, manira, kung ano-ano, manghila pababa, gawa yan na, okay, parehas gawa ng Allah Ta'ala, no? Yung mga tao, style ng ganyan. Yung mga magchismis, okay, siraan ka, ganito, ganito. Ginawa rin sila ng Allah Ta'ala. So, tayo, kailangan may protection po sa pagkatao natin, no? Para hindi tayo tinatalaban ng mga marites na yan, lumapit na yan, mga suki. Uso sa buong daigdig ang pitna. Okay? Hindi lang sa Pilipinas, hindi lang kung saan-saan. Okay? Basta sa buong daigdig ang pitna ngayon po, mga suki, no? So, dapat abutin mo. Okay, sa inyong knowledge, abutin mo yan para hindi ka tinatalaban ng pitna, mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Sangga lang yan. Okay. May taming lang yan. Mga pit na yan. Hindi tatalab sa iyo mga suki, no? Pero dapat abutin mo yan. Ayan. Ako naabot ko po mga kababayan, no? Okay, pananggalang ng mga pit na. Kaya steady lang ako mga suki, no? Wala yon. Okay, dumaan lang parang wala po mga kababayan, no? Yan ang pinakadelikado, yung pit na po ay pitnahan ka ng kung sino-sino ng tao mga kababayan, no? Okay, so abutin mo yun. Ayan. Kailangan magampanan natin ang pinakamabigat na pitna sa daigdig, no? Ayan. Okay, magmula rito po. Okay, sa himpilan natin. Ayan, mga suki, mga kababayan. Ayan. Wala tayong masamang tinapay sa kapwa kahit pitnahan tayo. Okay, hindi po tumatalab mga suki, mga kababayan. No? Okay, magpasalamat ako sa GCash. Ayos na po GCash. Okay, yung problema. Pero yung G-Crypto, hindi pa po ma-open ko na. Okay, paano ko ito ma-open? Dapat magpatulong ako paano ma-open ang G-Crypto ko. Ayan po, mga suki, mga kababayan. No? Ayan. So, hindi ko ma-withdraw po ang kailangan ko mambayad. Okay, dahil doon po sa G-Crypto. No? Okay, so magpatulong ako sa GCash. Ayan, salamat. Okay? Hindi ko ma-open ang GCash ko kanina. Okay? Kasi napaka-importante ang GCash, no? Okay, dito tayo magbayad ng mga utang natin, magbayad ng mga bill natin, magbayad ng gasolina natin. Okay, lahat-lahat na. Miscellaneous, gamot. Okay, nanggagaling sa GCash sa kamaya mga suki, no? Kailangan 24/7 magamit natin itong mga plastic money, no? Ayan. So, salamat sa GCash Management, Grupo Payala Corporation. Okay, salamat. Naayos na. Ayan. Okay, inulit ko lahat yung masamang tinapay sa kapwa. Okay, balita lang po mga suki, mga kababayan na. So, salamat din patuloy ang mga bumibili po ng paninda namin po, both online marketing at saka itong physical store mga suki na. Yan po mga survival natin. Okay, ang tinatawag na po ng passive income, no? Okay, naubos na ang resources ko. Okay, sa mga pambayad po ng mga kung ano-ano mga permit. Ayan po, para mapatuloy lang. Okay, hanap buhay natin maayos, no? Ayan. So, ayan, lastly, okay, for makabinsana dito sa Daigdig, katulad nung nangyari po doon sa Cagayan, sa Davao de Oro, no? So, yun. Galing yun sa tubig. Kasi baha, lupa, landslide mga kababayan, no? Ayan, biglang dumaan ng bus. Okay, tinabunan po ng lupa. Ayan. So, sakuna po mga suki, no? Natural calamity. Natural disaster. Ayan. Okay, happy weekend to all of you. Okay, babalik ako Monday morning, inshallah, no? Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Ayan po, no? Sige. Akala nyo walang ilmo si Abdul Jaman Damahan? Ayan. Mag-news lang. Pero marami po natutunan si Abdul Jaman Damahan, no? Mag-news lang ako. Pero alam natin po yung mga science. Okay. Dito po sa daigdig, no? Okay, kahit ano pang pit na hindi ka tinatalaban mga suki, no? Okay, kung alam mo ang pananggalang, pang sangga, pang block ng mga pit na yan, grabe ang pit na po mga suki sa kasalukuyan, no? Ayan. Hindi ka kaya pitnahan.
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Okay, bye-bye na.